Sometimes, yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you are, wherever you are in the world. You're here on Radio Works World with your host, Sabrina Salmi, on the Dream Big Show. I'm here today with my special guest, Wendy Price, who is the founder of this holistic horse and pony centre in Auckland near West Horsley. I've literally just arrived with my family, and I'm trying to go focus for the interview, but I'm going, wow, there are 35 horses here. I'm blown away. There is just acres and acres of land. And I don't want to take away from what Wendy can tell you herself, but she's saving lives. This is a holistic healing centre, and she does work with children who are on suicide watch. I was actually in tears when I read one of the testimonies, and I said to myself, I'd love to come down and meet you here to speak to you on the grounds where all the magic happens. So Wendy, thank you and welcome. Could you tell the listeners a bit about what you do here? Because I'm just in awe at the moment.
Oh, thank you. Morning, everybody, evening, and wherever you are in the world, welcome. It's a bit difficult to describing everything that we do all in a succinct way.
Yes.
It's just a range of things. I suppose ultimately we give people the freedom to come and discover who they really are, and we do that by allowing them to come and work with horses, whether they're just coming for a ride, they have time to have a bit of a groom, get to know the horse, and for sometimes children and adults, that is the first time that they actually have connected with a horse, even if they've ridden before. Many riding schools have to have a policy where they just bring the horse out and you get on board and that's it. And then they're taken away at the end of it. We feel here that they're missing out such a big part of the riding experience and the whole experience, which is why we're holistic. It's for the whole experience. So they come, they'll have a horse that they've connected with, they get a little groom, then they have a little ride, and that in itself, just giving time, so they can usually come for about 2 or 3 hours, and the riding is a small part of that, but the rest of it is the biggest part. It's being involved here with nature, and everyone that comes are always willing to scrub a bucket or sweep the yard. Well, that might be a little bit of persuasion with that. But there's a general sense of everybody wanting to help take care of the horses as well. And with that, with allowing children and people the chance just to be who they are, you let go of all the roles, for adults particularly, letting go of all the roles, duties, responsibilities that they've got caught up in, and just come and groom a horse, stroke a horse, whatever, is such valuable time for them. The other thing that we then involve is the more therapeutic side of the riding and working with the horses on the ground, which it's called my Heart program, and that involves helping people become much more connected with themselves and relationships. When we work with the horses, it's a bit of a mirror and a metaphor for that. And that is truly amazing work, and it's where my passion is, and the transformation people make is just blows people away, because we're all good with the theory, we're all good at reading books, signing up for the courses, and we all reckon we know.
Yes.
We think we know what we know, but put you with a horse and they go, really? I don't think so, baby puppy. And then what comes up is truth.
Wow.
Now, sometimes that can be a bit frightening for people because we're not used to coming from truth. We usually have to put our masks on. We usually have to, play a role. And the horses couldn't care less whether you're a prince or you're a pauper. It's such a class leveler. The only ammonia you'll get here is ammonia from the smells that happen naturally. But you get congruency, you get authenticity, and for some of us it's the first time we get to feel what that's like. And Sometimes we don't even know, for example, that we've got blocked emotions.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we're not aware of our programming and how that affects people. One particular lady, because we work with a whole range of people, right from children that are quite troubled or depressed or struggling in some way, right through to adults that are trying to find themselves, trying to find who they are again. And one of the groups that we work with were some vulnerable adults. And this particular group came, and there was one young teenager, and she was a bit sort of stroppy and, you know, didn't really want to be there, and, you know, only knew how to express and communicate by being angry. Anyways, one of the exercises was they had to go around to the horses and see if there was a horse that, you know, they connected with. And as she went round, all of the horses backed off her.
Oh, wow.
And this really upset her. She was used to, obviously, humans backing off her, but it really got to her. And to try and save face, she went, oh, I don't want to do this exercise. But actually what she did do, she took herself round the other side of the stables and actually just burst into tears.
Oh, God.
Now, she didn't know, but where she had positioned herself, there was a horse in the stable right on the corner. And when he sensed her distress, he turned round.
She was then authentic at that time,
and just touched her on the cheek.
Oh my God!
His lips, with his
my hairs are standing up now. Oh my God!
And I tell you, it was like a magic wand, and she changed in that instant, and she became so much more authentic that day. And the interesting thing was, the horse that did that was the horse that also has had a lot of trouble, and he'd also come from abuse and everything, which obviously, you know, the reason why the lady was struggling because of her background. You know, we all
exactly. That's why it's not right to judge.
Absolutely. Yes. And this is where the horses, they don't judge, they just respond, and that's the difference. And in that day, she worked with him like they'd been soulmates together, and then she went on and, instead of just being angry, she went actually helped in addiction centres and all sorts of things. So it was really amazing. That's another one of the times that really stand out for me.
Why? Where did this begin, Wendy? Where was this? Where's the seed?
The seed. Well, the seed was years ago when, like some of us ladies do, we have to go through our course of kissing a lot of frogs to find your prince.
Oh, gosh, let's just say I'm still kissing.
Come on my courses. Oh, wow. And I had one particular toad that had the disease of alcoholism, and that made him very violent. And at the time, I was working with trying to get through my riding exams for my teaching qualifications for teaching riding, and we had to get over 3'6" jumps, and at the time I was terrified to get over 1'6".
Oh my gosh.
But as I was getting lessons to help with that, I noticed that the terror that I was feeling going over the jump was the same terror that I was experiencing in my personal life. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. Anyway, the journey that I'd been working with had led me to different healers, and it was helping me deal with the person that I was struggling with as a relationship. But what I had to do was take responsibility for me. I had to see that he was my reflection of stuff that was so buried, so hidden, so shadow in me. And as I took responsibility for that, things shifted in me. Wow. And then it actually thought, well, I wonder if this will work with the riding. Wow. And the riding started to, I started using the tools to overcome the fear with the riding. And yay, I got over that 3'6" jump in my exam.
Well done.
I did fall off in the flat work, but
we all tell you that'll be another
story for another time. So then the work became more developed, and I created something called holistic riding back in the 1990s, and then was going around helping people overcome their fears of riding.
Yes.
But dealing with what the real fears were, which was not just about riding, it was helping people see what was really going on, what was really happening with them. And so then the work just started evolving, and it became that we didn't even need the horses to be ridden for people to get this healing. One particular lady, I remember, came to overcome a fear of riding, and she went in the stable with Sam, and as she went in, and Sammy's this big sort of hairy shire, you know, and he just stood there, and he just accepted who she was, and in that moment she just burst into tears, and years of grief just suddenly poured out of her, as she had lost one of her children in a motorbike accident. But what was so amazing is that the fear of the riding was actually hiding the fear of feeling the grief. And she just needed to be in the presence of a horse. It was just sending love, just being Sam, and it just opened her heart.
How beautiful is that? Because like you said, it's like people will come and have the riding at other places where they miss out on those magical moments, and those things can't be orchestrated. Like, I just feel so like touched by that aspect of just being present, just a connection. It's all not actually doing anything, just being present with the horses. That's where the change work is happening.
Absolutely. And then, you know, we can actually direct that to I do a self-mastery relationship course where we go through 12 modules of really working with our beliefs, our emotions, our childhood programming, because when we get a handle on that, then we can start making changes in our life. Then we get power. But what's so exciting, why I love my work so much, is that we all know the theory.
True.
But horses bring this theory alive, and that's the difference. We can't kid ourselves. If you say, oh yeah, I love and accept myself, I love and accept myself, and you're holding onto the horse and the horse is going, no you don't. Yes. It's like, who are you trying to kid? And you have to get into the feeling of your new belief. You have to get into the vibration of it before the horse will maybe walk on, or the horse will respond in a different way.
It's so powerful you saying that. I agree. I remember a time in my life, part of the time of my marriage, where I was saying to my husband, you can't do that, you know, I'm going to leave, I'm going to this, but it was words, it wasn't embodied in me. And it was at the point where I went through lots of change work myself, and then I was speaking what I was feeling. There was change, and I'm not saying it was leaps of change, but I saw a different response, because it was now, I'm not just saying it or audio, it was in my energy. So it's quite interesting, like, whereabouts in your life have you perhaps been speaking things that wasn't your truth, and then wondering why nothing around you is shifting? Obviously Wendy's got the answer, because we need to align inwardly, and then what's inside comes out. It's amazing.
Well, the heart principle brings out harmony, empathy, accountability, respect and truth. And when you apply these principles, that's when you're going to really see your life change. My new book will be going into all of that.
Which is well.
Yes. Well, my first one, Heart of Stable Relationships, is all about how the horses showed what how people could change. And now I've just worked on the relationship stuff so that people can get a good handle on that.
I think on that note, where can people find out more about you? Do you have a website? Is there any details that you can share?
Yes, we've got the Holistic Horse and Pony Centre. I'm not sure if this is reversed
to the camera. Yes. See that? Yeah, that should be nice and clear. If you can just tell us, just in case it's not clear enough.
Okay. And
the website.
There is the relationshiphealer.com is my other website at the moment, and the equine assisted therapy. equine-assisted therapy. But if you go onto the Holistic Horse and Pony Centre, that's got most of it anyway in our number. Or come and visit us. Just come there.
I would suggest that. Highly suggest that. I met you at Doug Vermarine's training, and you spoke about it, and I was in tears. But nothing could prepare me for actually getting to the gates. We were squealing, me and the kids going, oh, my mum going, oh my God, wow. You need to come and experience. It's an experiential thing. It's not really something someone can transcend in words. I think it doesn't know justice, to be honest. Could you perhaps give the listeners the number, just in case it's not on?
So 01483 283 221, or my email is wendy@therelationshiphealer.com.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Wendy, if we're the whole reason why I've come here is because the show's called Dream Big, and it's about sharing your big vision, your big dream, and being able to ask for help. What support do you need? Who do you want to connect with? What are those?
Well, I'm prepared for that. We have obviously a lot of horses here, and we do need financial support. We've had a tough couple of years with things that have happened, as all businesses do. You go through stuff, and they're on the other side of it, we're back on the up. My big vision for here is we are creating another thread called the Holistic Learning Centre, which is where children are coming and they're learning through horses, doing pre-apprenticeships, and getting an opportunity where children that school is not right and homeschooling is too isolating. It's just that little bridge in between. And yeah, we need help on all sorts of levels on that.
If you had a shopping list for that, like Sabrina, you're going past the shop, pick up eggs. What would you like? What sort of help do you need?
Okay, so we need people that know how some of the like education system works. Although we don't want to be a school per se, because otherwise we would lose the very essence that we are. It's anyone sort of that's good at sort of writing manuals and all these sort of earthly things that because I live up here. It's sort of not quite who
That's how we have to be, connecting the dots. Just skill swapping our sacred gifts.
Absolutely. And by all means, if you need volunteering, we've got always a field that needs poo picked or needs groomed. We do need funds to help some of the retired horses, because when they're not being ridden anymore, and some of them aren't suitable for the therapy work, they still need to be cared for, and we don't just try and dismiss them. So we have quite a few retired horses as well here. So anything to come and help them, financially will be a huge thing. I guess one of the biggest way is come and experience it. Come on the courses. Come and come for your day. Like on Saturday, June the 3rd, we've got the Confidence to Be You workshop, where you've got the opportunity to find who you are and be the confidence to be who you are. And that's working with the horses. It's a non-ridden day, and it's only 147 for the whole day, which to care for the horses and get you the transformation just in that day is worth every penny. Or sign up for one of my longer courses, and that will really help transform your life.
Beautiful. I like the way you went from receiving to giving back. I want us to focus the end bit on you, not giving. So looking for people that can help financially. Some volunteers, some people to help set up with the educational learning platforms, and like typing up manuals. So if there's anyone that's very skilled in those areas, or looking for someone to donate to or assist in any way, or is passionate about children, if you can come forward and connect. When did you say?
Yeah, the other thing we're looking to do is get planning permission for an indoor school, which would mean that through the winter we'd have a little bit more ability to keep going better.
Yes.
And so anyone who can set up plans, architectural plans, that would be helpful.
Friends I can connect you with.
That would be really valuable.
So I'm going to apologise in advance. When the video goes out, I am going to tag a few people that come to mind, because there are some people that I'm connected to. So hopefully you guys can get connected. I do forgive me. I'm pretty much in awe. I wasn't really prepared for having this kind of reaction when I got to the gate. I haven't actually seen the whole thing. I literally saw some horses and I was like, wow. So I would definitely suggest that you come down, see Wendy and her team, her husband. What they're doing is amazing. They're saving lives. Come and be a part of something that's bigger than you. Pay it forward for the next generation. And enough from me. We're getting towards the end of the show. Wendy, is there any final words, any messages that you want to give out to the listener? Perhaps someone that's stuck and not sure what to do.
Reach out for help, she says. We all have a responsibility for how the planet is, and we all have, we see things going on in the world that are upsetting, and we've probably been through relationships that are just not working. But remember, it all starts with you. And when you can get a handle on love and accepting who you are, that's when the change is going to happen through the world. In order to do that, we need to find out what has been blocking that, and that is really the way forward and how I can help.
Wow.
Come and see me. I'll transform your life forever and the lives of the people with you.
I think on that note, all I can say is thank you for listening. Thank you, Wendy. I wish you every success, continued success with what you're doing. Thank you very much. You've been listening to Radio Works World with your host, Sabrina Ben Salmi, on the Dream Big Show. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.
Wow. This is